Well, hello. It's good to be here, and we're here with someone special, somebody you all know, one Tommy Robinson. So Hearts of Oak is here, Tommy, in this historic room to talk to you about what you're getting up to. But perhaps I ought to explain, this is the room, isn't it, where John Sweeney of the BBC, his career came unstuck.
This was the end of his career. Do you remember that? I remember telling him, no, your career's over, mate. And then he still carried on. John, your career was over. You're doing YouTube videos now. And you deserve every second of it.
And for those that haven't watched it yet, they need to see your Panodrama YouTube video. They can see it there, or can see it on various other platforms.
You'll have to see it on band video.
Okay, all right. Well,
it's a band
see that, and you'll see what it's all about. How Tommy outwitted the BBC, and especially John Sweeney. So it was brilliant. Tommy, fantastic to see you. You've been very quiet recently. Why is that?
I've had some bad summers. This summer was the worst.
Can you explain about that?
And I'll explain that, considering the last 2 summers I spent on solitary confinement. So this summer had to be pretty bad to compete with them. I had a lot going on, and I don't know if I'll show you, because I dug it up just now. I'm not going to say which one of my children this is from, but I'll let you just read it. Yeah? That's from one of my kids.
I just wish you weren't Tommy Robinson.
I just wish you weren't Tommy Robinson. Yeah.
That's from one of your kids.
But my life and yours would have been better if you weren't a journalist. Oh, I'm going to get upset. So
That's a killer.
It's a killer.
Yeah, no.
It's a killer because what I saw was the effect that my politics have on them. Here we go again.
It's all right, mate. It's all right. You're human. You're a dad. You know. Yeah.
So I took the time to promise them that they'd have a peaceful summer, and essentially the age they're at now is when it does affect them, and I've seen it affect them and seen the effect it's had on them. I don't even think about it. You would have watched a video of me when I was in Hitchin where the men were abusing an old couple. I get out of the car, I end up scrapping with the lads. My son's in the car. You know, I don't think about the effect that has on him, and then the knock-on effect. And when I spoke this summer and said that our property was arsoned, I said property because it was the mother of my children's vehicle was set on fire. That effect for the kids, the fear of seeing it, of hearing it, of knowing that someone's torched something, that effect, along with the effect of knowing that what blew up this summer with BLM, along with the effect of they're at the age where they understand people really want to kill you. So I think about how I deal with it, and I've dealt with it all right, and then now I'm watching my children try and deal with it, which is, yes, upsetting.
It's a soft underbelly, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when they're publicising where you live, and they're going around, even film themselves going down to your front door and all that sort of thing.
And they're doing it on purpose. And essentially, so I had to make a decision, and it would have been, and it's the best, and a decision that protects them, so that they feel safe, going forward, so that I don't have to disappear. But essentially, I don't know, when your car's about to break down, or if your car needs an MOT, it needs an MOT. You need to take a break. I took a break to give them a break. People would be thinking, where's he gone? What's happening? I generally had to give them some stability, a sense of security. Do you know, when the car was torched, it's at the height of COVID. There's no hotels. There's nowhere you can go. You couldn't just get up and move your family somewhere. You try and get in a house when you're Tommy Robinson. You try and rent somewhere. Yeah. You try, and not just that. So for the last year, since the other incident where Mohammed Akanji sent Antifa activists to where my children were to intimidate them, to threaten to kill them, because that's what they've done. They made a video threatening to kill my kids. Now again, these sort of things were happening when my children were 3, 4, 5. They didn't hear about it. They're now fully awake, fully aware. Their friends are aware. They're hearing everything. So if someone says they want to kill you, your 9, 11 and 13-year-old are trying to deal with that. So yeah, it's upsetting.
But this is obviously, you've chosen a topic because you were concerned of the impact of Islam, and you've spoken out on that. You're one of the few in the UK to speak out. And obviously we've seen 2 instances where people have suffered, one in France with a teacher being beheaded, and this weekend we've seen Hatun in Speaker's Corner. So there is a huge backlash, and that's what you're facing.
And that is it, and we'll get on to Hatun, because I want to speak about what I'd say is the most courageous woman I've seen in years. I'll get on to that, but that's why. So most people saying why you've been quiet, and I needed to. I needed to, and I made a video. I made a video saying, look, at that time, someone gave us somewhere to stay because I couldn't find anywhere to stay. So first of all, we got on a flight the next morning to whichever country you could fly to. You can go to Spain. We went to Croatia. It's the only place you could go where there was no social distancing, no masks, and it was brilliant. But then that wasn't a long-term solution. So then we got given somewhere to stay for a good few weeks that my family could stay. So we flew to Spain. And then it doesn't take overnight. Anyone who's moved house knows that. Anyone who's tried to get a relocation knows that. We haven't just needed a relocation. For the last year, my wife's previous property was empty. She's been paying the bills on that, the council tax on that. Then for another property, for her and the children, I need a property so that they feel safe. Because then I realised that they don't feel safe even with me in the house. So it's like, yes. So I've had a lot to get my things in order so that I'm in a position to continue the work I do. It's totally, I'm not stopping the work I do.
That's what I was going to say. You're not going to stop. So those who are opposing you are not going to say, we'll just leave Tommy alone because we're happy for him to take Islam apart and talk about all the other issues which come from that.
Yeah. I needed for my children to understand and feel safer. For them to be in a position where they feel safe, and that doesn't happen overnight with what's gone on, and with the situation I've been in, and that's it. And seeing the adverse effect, I didn't want to then be bursting out making video after video after video, which I made loads. Yeah, I went to Black Lives Matter meetings, I made videos about it, but then when all I saw the pile on and I saw the problems it was causing for my children, I pulled everything and just said, right. I'm getting myself sorted. I've been, which people aren't aware, I've been working on what is going to be the best documentary I've made, and that's saying something, because Panodrama was, it was great. I don't just say it. I know it was mine. I made it. It was brilliant. Yeah? We nailed them. We nailed the BBC on the world stage, and it got me deleted from the world for it. But the next documentary, which I've been working on, I don't want to reveal too much, but it's going to be a detailed documentary. We've been on it now for months. So whilst I've been quiet, there's been a lot of work going on in the background. So
you're also looking quite fit. Tell us about that.
Thanks. Yeah, to all you lefties.
Give advice on lifestyle now. Yeah. Okay.
To all you, I get lots of left-wing activists or people who want to have a pop with me. Well, I am now fighting fit, and I feel fighting fit. So that's your warning, all right? So
but give us a secret. You're telling me a bit about your secret. Where you've been going away for?
I won't say exactly where I've been. I've just been getting myself in a routine. As I said, I come out of summer. I want to be fit. I need to be fit. Do you know I need to be sharp? I feel sharper than I've ever felt. Yeah, at the minute I feel sharp, physically sharp, mentally sharp, which I wasn't in that place months ago. I was in a pretty bad place. So was my family. So I needed to take that time, which I've taken, I'm grateful to the people who help support TR News to work. The documentary we're filming now, we've got people out in cities everywhere uncovering things, which will all go into our documentary we're going to play. But to the people who have continued to support me and trusted in me, I needed a break. I've had a break.
Are you going to... You talk about this documentary, you're not going to say too much.
I'm not going to say too much because I wasn't going to say anything, and I was going to let people see I've been silent. And when the promo comes out, people are going to go, "Oh yes!" So that's how I feel. I feel super excited because I know that. I feel excited. Okay. I feel excited about the project I'm working on because I know how important it is. But I don't want to say any more. I know that people who put their trust in me.
That's fine. But in terms of your supporters, when is the documentary likely to come out? Whatever it's about, we don't have to go
it needs to be done properly, which we're doing. It needs to be properly investigated, which we're doing. It's not a 6-minute video. It has to be properly, totally every single piece covered for the accusations that are going to be made against certain people and within places. So it will be in the new year. Yeah, it will be in the new year. And do you know what? I was so upset in the previous documentary, which I finished. I was put in a position where I worked on one which I spoke a lot about, which was Shalom, which I faced a little bit of a backlash about. But I worked on it with previous employees. Now, when I went to get the paperwork to corroborate a lot of the things which I was about to say in the documentary, the previous employees didn't have the paperwork anymore. Make of that what you want. I can't put my name to a documentary that's going to go out where I'm going to make and say things that I can't 100% corroborate. So unfortunately, for that gentleman and his family, I shelved that and made a difficult decision. I thought, I don't want to put this out and have certain ex-employees working with different organisations who are going to try and pull the rug from under me, because what they've done as research, which I need to go over 100%, isn't 100% factually correct. So I had to make a difficult position to shelve that, which I was so gutted about. But currently, I'm excited about the work I'm doing.
So Tommy, can your followers and the rest of the people who are looking to you, can they expect you to stay quiet really till after Christmas?
No, this Sunday I'm going to be at Speaker's Corner.
Are you?
Yeah,
Tell us about 100%.
That. I have watched, and I didn't want to be, and I've bit my tongue. I've bit my tongue for months now, watching things happening and thinking this needs this and we need to do this. But I also, at the same time, knew that I need to be physically, mentally sharp and ready. I need to be separated in a position that my children don't have to worry about where they're residing and what's happening where they are. They're now in that position. I don't have to worry about people turning up where they are. Even though journalists, even when I said that they were in Spain, journalists, and to that, some of those journalists, I've got every detail on you, which I'm going to be fine. I've got certain journalists who tried to pinpoint where they were, knowing full well there's been arson attacks, knowing full well people want to kill you, knowing full well that the place of location was where my family had gone. They were trying to pinpoint and locate and encourage people to in Spain through lies. And I've dug up these journalists. I've dug up where they are. I've got a lot of ticks and lists of people I want to put my own story on now. But yeah, and I need to be in that position. But Hatton, I've watched her at Speaker's Corner. This is a lady who, on her own, has shown more courage than any man I know. Yeah, she has, and I'm seriously concerned for her as I'm watching this. She's very close to becoming a martyr, which I would hate to see. In fact, Jesus, and I worry about my safety. Yeah, I'm watching this lady's thrown herself right in the fire. Now, so this Sunday, I watched. She was physically attacked 3 times in the last month. The police have took her free speech from the bastion of free speech in Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park. They've removed her from the park because of hostility from aggressive young Muslims who want to attack her violently, throw her on the floor. This Sunday, I'm going to go because I want to show my love to her. I'm going to bring her flowers. I'm going to bring her chocolates. I want to show her how much I appreciate what she's been doing. And on the argument of free speech, she is right now single-handedly, I'd say, in the world, the forefront activist on this point. Many of us have been in positions of battles for free speech, whether it was my previous court case and Speaker's Corner. She has been doing it single-handedly.
Can you explain what she's actually saying? It was upsetting the
So she goes every week. She holds the Quran. She does a thing where she says there's 26 different versions of the Quran, maybe 30 now, is it?
She holds up a Quran with holes drilled in it.
because their ideology it has holes drilled in it if you start picking it. And she's violently attacked for it, and especially with what's just happened over the cartoons. So I'm going to go this Sunday. I don't know what you're doing Sunday.
We'll be there. We were there a couple of weeks ago after the first time she was.
Do you know what would be a great sight? The best sight ever for this Sunday would not be for groups of men turning up with masks on their face to show hostility. It would be for a sea of flowers and chocolates, so Hatton can be surrounded with absolute love by the British public to show that, you know what, we totally value what you are doing. We totally value the position you've put yourself in. You have put yourself in danger. And as I said, I've not seen anyone show courage like this. And I'm concerned for her and worried for her. And I think the police need to also realise that these men who are continually violent to oppress free speech in Speaker's Corner, then they're the men that need to be removed from the park. Anyone showing violent and hostility, they're the men, not removing the people who are expressing their free speech in a calm, disciplined manner. So yeah, I'm going to be there this Sunday. So, and
you're recommending other people to join you?
I'm recommending go buy flowers, go buy chocolates, and go and let's surround that lady with a sea of love. Let her feel so loved. Let her know, because I watch on a video and I wonder if the British public are aware of what's going on down there. I'm aware because I follow everything, yeah? Even now I've been quiet, I follow everything. Every comment, every message, I'm still following it. I've just gave my family and my children a much needed break from those politics, from worrying about me, whilst I've got 3 kids in 3 schools as well. I've got 3 kids in 3 schools. The build up to school, they've been getting negative. I've had so much this summer, and as I said, it's been the worst summer or worst period, probably the worst year since my activism. In the sense of that's where it hurts, is when you see it hurting them. So yeah.
Just to finish off on Hatun, and it's obviously we've watched Hatun, we've had her on as a guest, that she's been there following on from Jay Smith, who was there for decades. But it's quite impressive watching this little 5-foot-something woman, and you've got these huge bearded Muslims
who are so intimidated by her.
Yeah,
they're intimidated by her free speech.
But she holds her line every time. She does not back down ever. She just holds, because she knows she has truth on her side. She knows what she's saying actually is the truth and actually can unlock many people's lives.
And when you look at her, I watch and know that lady is willing to die, and I know that, and there's not a question about it. Watch her videos, and if someone's willing to die to risk everything for your free speech, then the least you can do is support her when she's cornered aggressively, and when she has drawn the line in the sand, and it's been drawn for Speaker's Corner on Sunday. I want to go and support
Perhaps I can just use this opportunity to use a plug. For those that want to know what Hatun Tash is on about, we have done a Hearts of Oak live stream with Hatun. So if you go onto our YouTube channel and look for Hatun Tash on there, Hearts of Oak YouTube channel, and you can see exactly what her arguments are. We had a really good interview with her.
Oh,
actually, it was the Thursday before she was arrested. She was frog marched off from Speaker's Corner by the police.
I don't think she'll be frog marched off this Sunday.
So anyway, if you want to know what it's all about, go onto our channel. You can see it there.
And if any of you have got a good florist, then we'll form an orderly queue.
Tommy, can I just ask your thoughts about the chaos we're in at the moment with the economic destruction, with the coronavirus? I saw Spain had a state of emergency for the next 6 months. Ireland, of course, have been in lockdown for 6-week lockdown, and I'd read that they had an average of 1 death a day. So it doesn't seem to be a reason for shutting down your whole economy.
If you're under 40, you're more likely to get hit by lightning.
Well, yeah. So I mean,
0.02% for children. Look, I only carry this here because I don't mind people. I'm exempt from everything to do with this bullshit.
Exempt from everything.
I'm exempt from absolutely everything. Yeah? Because no one's going to tell me what I need to do when it comes to expressing, walking down the street or covering my face with a mask for this nonsense. I understand there's many people who are concerned and worried, and I understand to many people who have been affected. There are families, I know some in Luton, I know an Asian family who lost a father and a son, devastate the whole family. But people lose relatives all the time. So for whether it, even I watch mainly. Do you know what? I've followed this. I followed Victoria in Australia, Dictator Dan, because I've been following Avi.
Avi's done. Yeah.
Have you been following him?
Yeah.
So Avi,
yeah.
You are smashing it. Yeah, absolutely smashing it. You have lit, and Ezra. When Ezra gave me the reins and I blew up Rebel Media in the UK, Avi is blowing up, yeah, and it is so good to watch because you're doing exactly what you should be doing, man. You are electrifying journalism in Australia. It's so good to watch. You're giving people the alternative story. You're giving people a voice, and you're putting pressure on the authorities. A 7-month lockdown? That's what they've been under there. And I just think, what? And the people are actually accepting this when they've got no one really dying? It's insane. It's insane, and it's insane, and the insanity everywhere of... I remember when I was in Spain, and I went to a restaurant, and the lady said, and it's an outdoor restaurant, and I said, yeah, we've got a table. She said, yeah, you need a mask. I said, where am I sitting? She said, you're going to be sitting there. I said, what do I need a mask for then? No. To walk from here to there. I said, you're for real? Like, you want me to put a mask on, you want my kids to put a mask on, to walk from here to there. I said, just say that out loud, what you're saying. Walk past no one, but you want us to put a mask on. You've got people on the beach in Spain, on their own, with a mask on, totally on their own. Like, I remember when I saw that in Spain, and the mask wasn't here yet in the UK. I remember, thought, no one in England will abide by that. Yeah. And then when I come back, I start seeing everyone wearing these masks. And it's Toby Young. Yeah, he probably wants to speak about the Free Speech Union. Oh, that's the Free Speech Union badge, yeah. That's That is the Free Speech Union.
Are you a member of the Free Speech Union?
I am a member of the Free Speech Union. And because I'm a total supporter of free speech, as is the organisation. You need an organisation like this that's going to defend people's free speech, because we've watched for years as people's businesses, people's livelihoods have come under attack for expressing totally normal points, and they've been harassed, and that council culture needs to be tackled. And I hope that the Free Speech Union, they're us guys, so join them, yeah?
They've been overrun by cases non-stop of, obviously Darren Graham was the big one recently, Darren Graham Starkey, but it's just non-stop.
Do you know when I see all this though, I sit and think, what did you all say when it was happening to me?
Nothing.
Okay, you're all upset now it's hitting you. And I've watched for years this, now it's hitting you, you're all upset.
Tommy, your problem is you're working class, mate.
No, that's it.
That's your problem.
That's it.
You aren't polished, so you're just working class, so you're expendable.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you're educated and middle class and posh,
you can sit and say exactly the same as long as you went to Oxbridge.
Exactly.
You can say what you want.
Exactly.
And you're taken seriously.
Did you not go to Eton? No?
No.
I thought you did, okay.
No, I'll be speaking at Eton one day. I spoke at Harrow Boarding School. I've done many of these talks, and I sit around tables like this with all of these people who totally agree with me. But if you put a camera up, every debate show I go on, I had Jeremy Paxman come in and shake my hand and said he commends me. Yeah, come on, man. You know what I mean? Turn the camera on. It's like, what's happened here? What's happened here? At the minute that people are free to express themselves, which they're still not, which is this battle, and COVID has now taken the place of this debate. We've seen it was Islam, it was all about Islam. Black Lives Matter's come in. They've probably got about another, 10 days left, 2 weeks left. When's the election? 3rd November?
Yep, so 10 days.
Come on, Donald! Who's excited? Come on, mate. We are waiting. I just can't wait, to be honest. I remember the feeling, because, they're doing exactly the same again. They're convincing you that he's going to lose to Sleepy Joe. They're convincing you. Like last time, he was convinced he could lose. And I remember last time I was in Israel, collecting my shekels for all you far-right wankers. I was in Israel because I talk about issues. And the one time I've been to Israel, if I'm going to talk about these issues, I've got to go there myself. And now it's such a great position, because if I debate someone on Palestine, I say, you ever been there? No. You ever met any Palestinians who are governed by the Palestinian Authority? No. Do you know what are you talking about? So you don't know any. So I went there to be able to say, because I went there and met Arabs. I spent time in Bethlehem in a Fatah-controlled refugee camp. I went to search. I didn't spend time just with Jews. I went with Muslims and Arabs, and I spent time to really understand where their arguments were, so I could come back with a bit of knowledge on the issue. And so I was there, and Donald Trump won the election. And I remember going up to all the Arabs and and when it was going on, saying, "What do you think of Donald Trump?" Yes, yeah, these are Muslims, yeah. America must be strongman. We need strongman. And I'm like, what? And I thought, you're all meant to hate Donald Trump. No. And I remember saying to one Muslim who lives in Israel, yeah, and I was saying to him, are you oppressed by Israel? And he just laughed, yeah. And he said, you think I want to live in Syria or Iraq? Yeah. And he looked at me. He looked at me like, you idiot, yeah. He goes, I can pray 5 times a day here, bro. Yeah. He goes, everything's cool. And I remember everything I was told, but of course I'm working as a Zionist. I get all that. You must get that now.
Oh yeah.
Nick Griffin used to call me a Zionist. So when I went to do a talk once, I wore a badge saying I'm a Zionist. And everything I say, and I watch it come back. So I was arguing with someone on Twitter, and I put, didn't you know I'm Jewish? Yeah, just like, I'm just taking the piss. Yeah, and then that gets used now, where people say he's Jewish, and then they all share it. And it's like, oh mate. I'm just fishing. That's all I'm doing, is having a bit of fun with you.
You need to go on Ben Shapiro show, and you can wear
I wear a cap
as well. Yes, yeah.
But they've got pictures of me wearing a kappa. You know what I mean?
But it's
on the Wailing Wall, wailing.
Well, it's been interesting watching actually Donald Trump, that he's one of the very few presidents that hasn't gone to war in his term, and just arranged peace deals with, or normalised relationships between Israel and Sudan. You've got Bahrain, UAE, and to me it's wonderful. Of course, the media don't want to report it.
He's going for, rather than get peace between Israel and Palestine, we'll bring peace with everyone else to try and then bring in Palestine. That's what it looks like, and he has done more. This is why. And I was with an American last week in Europe, and he said he was a Democrat, and he's not, sorry about discussing your relationship here, bro, yeah? You know you are. But he's in a position with his wife who supports Biden, but can't explain why she supports Biden. Yeah? And he's like, babe, we've had the best 2 financial years we've ever had because of Donald Trump's policies. Yeah? He goes, I'm voting Trump. But his marriage is about to collapse. But she's got no explanation. It's like when you go ask any of them, well, what about the 47 years he's been in power? What about all his racist slurs? What about the Democrat Party starting the KK? What about the war that was fought, that the Republicans fought to free the slaves? What about all these issues? Yeah. But I don't know, I'm excited for the election. I'm in England, I'm excited for the election. I can't wait to celebrate it. I remember last time I just made a video, and I was so happy, because what we have now is this election is a vote for anarchy or a vote for law and order. It's a vote for capitalism or it's a vote for communism. Yeah? And that's the choice you need. That's the basic choice. You don't have to like Donald Trump as a character. You have to choose whether America becomes a socialist country or not. Yeah? That's what I see the election being about. The fact that I absolutely love Donald Trump's character has nothing to do with it, but.
And can I do a little plug, because when this goes
Vote
out,
Trump!
When this goes out, we will have had Terry Giles on, and Terry obviously is a Republican Party insider, one of the most successful businessmen you can come across, and he will be with us on the live stream talking about. I mean, he was campaign manager for Ben Carson whenever Ben came third, Ted came second, and Donald J. Trump came first. So it'll be fascinating talking to him and getting his insight, because everything we hear is on this side. I mean, you can watch Tucker Carlson or Shapiro or whatever across, or Rudy, but it'll be good having him on discussing his view, what really is happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, because that's what sometimes you get a little bit worried, because I heard Number 10 were cozying up to Biden because everything's predicting. But everything predicted Brexit wasn't going to happen. Everything predicted Hillary Clinton was going to win by a landslide. Everything predicted. And it's only predicted that way because if we get back to free speech, people don't feel free to say how they think. So if people are asked in the street, are you voting Trump? No, because they're scared. They're scared of everything, of the consequence of it. And Joe Biden has the media machine. He goes missing for 4 days in his basement. Comes out of an ice cream shop, yeah? His son's under all these charges of allegations of corruption, of paedophilia, of all these different things going on in the Biden camp.
Hunter Biden, surely not.
And what did the journalist ask him? Joe, what flavour ice cream did you have? Huh? He's been missing for 4 days, right? If Donald Trump had been missing for 4 days, you'd be saying, are you hiding from the public? He gets asked, what flavour ice cream did you have, Joe? And then watching it, it's like, is this for real? It's all of this coming out, and you're getting rid of the New York Times. You're hiding it for everything, yeah? But I think it's great because the public are watching it. Right. The media machine is on his side, and you're still going to lose. He's still going to lose in a landslide. That Donald Trump's going to win a bigger proportion of the black vote this time as well. And I think that I watched for the last 12 months, prior to COVID, as Candice Owens, I would say, was building a revolution within the black community. And I'd say a revolution to free them. Yeah? We talk about plantation and slavery. They're still on plantations, but the Democrat plantations, yeah? And they're still slaves. And she has been building a revolution for 12 months. I've watched the work she's done. An absolute reward to what she's done. And then Black Lives Matter, they were worried. Yeah. So in comes Black Lives Matter, in comes the Marxist ideology, in comes the racial divide, in comes racial politics, to divide absolutely everything. And if against all of these odds, Donald Trump wins again on a landslide, I hope the hell he comes down like an iron fist on all of these organisations of Marxism, of anarchy, of all of them who are corruptly working to bring down the leader of the free world.
Has there been a huge thing on free speech finally on this? Because obviously we've watched Twitter and others restrict discussion on the Hunter Biden story, the New York Post, and then many in the White House being blocked. And the public don't even know they're not getting access. They don't read it, and that's it. It's not, here's the story, but we're not going to give you access. So you have a whole swathe of the US population who do not know what's happening.
That's interference with an election. Yeah. That's against the law. So Facebook, Twitter, it's about time, and I can only hope that he does it the minute he's re-elected. He really crushes them, because they need crushing, and everyone needs to come over to Parler.
But you're one of the first social media martyrs. But yeah, you're over in Parler, so...
Yeah, because they hope then you're forgotten, which is essentially why the documentary I'm working on now, I'm aware of that. So I'm aware of the days of me, I've said it before, making 6-minute videos are gone, yeah? I need to make something that pulls on your heart, that's really hard hitting, that's really exciting, that really shocks people, for them to go into work the next day and say, you've got to see that documentary Tommy Robinson's just made. And that's all I can do. So when people say, how do you fight it back? I know that the only method I have is doing that. I wish that more people spoke up for me when I was removed. I wish that more people tackled them. I wish that the Toby Youngs of this world were willing to defend the working class people as well when their voices were taken. They've formed a union. Let's see where it goes. But yeah, is it exciting times? COVID is going to...
Tommy, can I push you on that one? Bring back from the States and back to this country. COVID has been an opportunity for the authorities to turn completely authoritarian and virtually fascist. We are virtually living in, certainly in an authoritarian state now, verging on the fascist.
And they're using
so
the
we're told now how many people we can have in our homes.
I won't be told how many people I have.
I know, but the authorities tell us, okay, they're controlling what they used to try and control through hate speech. They control what you think and what you say. Now they control what you do at a sort of detail level. Where does it go? How do we get back from this? Because the authorities, which we know they insisted that during the whole Remain Brexit campaign, the Remain authorities, once they'd lost the referendum, they fought to get back in control of everything and lost that one, fortunately. But this is like the revenge of the Remainers, isn't it? The whole establishment up there are back in control and much more detailed control of everybody's lives now. So they tell you where you can sit, who you can speak to.
Under a Tory government.
So, under a Tory government. So,
imagine Labour in charge.
Yeah. But
I'd be in a gulag. I'd be in real trouble.
Yeah, sure. But the Tories are just have for a long time been just as bad as Labour. They've been.
Well, they're not Tories, are they?
They're
By
not,
name only.
They're not. They're Tories in name only. And so, what have you got to say? What are your thoughts about that? What can be done about that? Because some stage we've got to come out from under this sort of authoritarian government and reassert our freedoms. Not just freedom of speech, but freedom to go and buy what we want to buy in the shops.
Have you seen them taping up all the kids' clothes? Yeah. Taping everything up.
Yeah.
And then some lad pulls it off and he's been prosecuted. Yeah. But this will build anger. This will build resentment, frustration. They got their kickback to years of their policies with the Brexit vote. Yeah. They're going to get a kickback to this authoritarian takeover with COVID. And that's not just going to be in the UK. That's what I'd say will happen eventually. People are feeling fed up. No one believes it anymore. Everyone you speak to, no one believes it. No one believes the figures. We know you're manipulating them. What do I think? Was it Steve Davis who prevented them having an endless time for these laws and put a limit on the time they could have them? Because, yeah, if they take these freedoms away, you think they're just going to give them back? You think all of a sudden, you can do what you want? And when you read these laws, it's pretty terrifying. And I'm surprised, so surprised, that I haven't been collared yet on some of these COVID legislation. Do we know if Paul Golding got arrested last night? I'm just trying to keep up.
No.
I think he got arrested when he landed back from Russia, I believe. Again, I haven't followed. They have given themselves powers to... Well, they have powers to do what they want anyway. It's just that people don't realise it. Mm. But it is worrying. And I sat back, I made a video. Again, didn't release this. I made lots of videos, but didn't release them because I made a video to the people who are taking to the streets to do with COVID. Because I didn't. I totally support everything you're doing, everything you're saying. But I stayed away because I didn't want to be the reason that many of you think you're being called far right. So I sat back and watched what happened. And you've all been called far right anyway, yeah? Just to let you know, without my presence there, you're all far right, knuckle-dragging bigots, yeah? Just so you can see yourself. So to those on the left who are fighting for freedom, because this issue doesn't just bring people from our politics, it brings everyone. Everyone should be fighting for this. Jeremy Corbyn's brother is being called far right by many people, yeah? Far right and conspiracy theorists. No, most supporters, everyone's saying true. So I support everything you've been doing. I've sat back and I've watched because I didn't want to turn up at one of these events and then have everyone feeling that it's because of my presence. Because I watched this with the Football Lads Alliance. Many of them were so nervous about being called far right. Yeah? Many of the people were so worried, or the organisers, that they were trying to steer away and do everything that Stand Up to Racism, the Marxist, far left, communist organisation wanted them to do, to try and please the media and please the establishment. You will never please them, okay? So don't try. Who cares what they call you? I would love, and I will, I've sat back, I've waited at the next opportunity for any of these COVID demonstrations, for any of this resistance to it. I want to be part of it. Yeah, I want to be part of it. But I did take a back seat. I did step back because I wanted to see. I wanted you to see that you're going to get called all the things. And I hope many of you understand what we've been up against for a decade. Yeah? Do you know what? If you actually do a bit of research, we're not those big far-right scary guys you think we are. Yeah? We're just like you, and upset with what we see happening to our freedoms. Now your freedoms are being affected, aren't they? Yeah, well ours have been affected for a decade, all right? And everyone laughs while our freedoms get taken. It's not so funny now, is it?
So it's a question really of getting your timing right when you step in. At the right opportunity, you'll step in and mobilise your supporters and the rest of it.
Yeah, I know many people have been waiting. I said my one thing I'm working on now is this documentary. I'm excited because I know it's going to blow. I know it's going to be big. Yeah, without sounding, I know what we're going to do. So, but at the same time, yeah, there is a total need to resistance to these laws and these implementations of laws and this mask nonsense. Yeah, so during the height of the pandemic, no one wears a mask. During the height of the pandemic, we have our borders open to China, to everywhere, where the most extreme places where COVID is, they can all fly in. And then now you've got it under control and now no one's dying. Everyone has to put masks on. No one's allowed in groups. Everyone's scared. You want to destroy small business, and that's what this is about. You are absolutely destroying the average working man. Anyone doesn't see that at the end of this, the whole of our nation and everyone in our generation are going to be totally in debt, and we're going to be in a terrible place as a country. Then you ask the motive for why they're doing it. But
Tommy, that's fantastic, really fantastic. You've got a gift for Tommy, have you not?
It's a gift. Is it a medium? I'm wearing medium at the minute, mate.
This is the first time the second time we went to the court with Jeff and Piers as they got charged, and then Jeff Watt and Piers Corbyn, who on Friday then they got released and their case adjourned, so they're back.
When are they back?
So Piers is back middle of November. It might be like the 20th.
Piers, whether you like it or not, I'm coming.
Jeff is February, so we'll get the
Jeremy,
date out.
Tommy's coming to support you.
We'll get that. Do you know what they can be charged with? £100 is what. I mean,
the fine at the end
all
of this,
all this is about £100. But they're saying, why should we pay? We have the right. This is just because they went to Hyde Park.
Go to jail before you pay. I'm in court on the 30th of November as well. While we're on that topic,
You've got a long list of dates.
I've got a long list. I'm in court.
So what's the next one? Yeah.
So 30th of November is where a man committed a sexual assault, which he has now been charged for, which none of you media or journalists have reported. He's on trial at Crown Court for sexually assaulting a minor, which every one of the newspapers decided to drop out of the story. They made it out like I just attacked an innocent holidaymaker. Left it out of the story. Now, when I go to court, I'm on the 30th of November, I'm on trial for assault, where I'll be pleading not guilty, and not just pleading not guilty, but I ain't paying no fine. I am not. I, as a father, have a right to defend my child, and if someone commits a sexual assault against a minor, I will detain them. Yeah, and I don't care where it is or when it is. Okay, they're not walking away. They probably sexually assaulted many children that weekend. They were not arrested. They were not detained. Their phones were not seized. This goes to trial on the 30th of November. Anyone who's opposed to child molestation, I'm at Luton Magistrates Court on the 30th of November. I'll be there. Feel free to come. So I've got that case where, do you know what I've been told? I had a meeting with my lawyers last week. This is what it's all about. This case is another £8,500 to fight it. Yeah? I've got another bill for another case. This is all it's all about all the time. But I'm fighting this case. My solicitor believes that if I'm convicted, I'll go to jail. Yeah, which I find absolutely insane. So 30th of November again. I have not.
Which court?
Luton Magistrates. Okay. Luton Magistrates, 30th of November.
Okay.
And I find it insane. I sat there last week. I went up to see my lawyers in Manchester. I was like, "You're for real?" They said, "Yeah, be prepared to go to jail if you get convicted." And I said, "Well, I don't see any other option because I'm not doing community service and not paying a fine. I will not accept 1 second that I've done anything wrong." Do you know what? Again, this is upsetting for me. Is what message does this send to the victim of the sexual assault? Would that victim talk up again if they were sexually assaulted? We're supposed to be in a place where people feel free to, and they should feel free to speak up against these things. And you penalise the dad before you penalise the man, before you penalise the paedophile. And do you know what the Attorney General sent me? The Attorney General sent me just 2 months ago. The Attorney General, so hi, yeah, they sent me a letter addressed to me, warning me, warning me. And do you know what they quoted as law? The case Attorney General against Yaxley Lennon. Right? When they sent me to jail for causing fear to the paedophile. Okay? So they sent me the letter saying, "We've watched your video, yeah, and it's only because of COVID that you're not getting pulled into court for contempt of court. Yeah? And again, whether this is laying down the gauntlet or not, a man sexually assaulted a child. I don't really care about any other law, yeah? Because there is no law that should prohibit me talking about that. Yeah? The fact I'm not allowed to name him, the fact that you are warning me and intimidating me from letting the public know, because what's going to happen is on the 30th of November, they've dropped it to the lowest form of assault. So, and this is the only form of assault that doesn't go to the independent Crown Prosecution Service. This is the only crime that a sergeant in the police station can charge you with. So I was charged by a sergeant, okay? A sergeant who has now been dropped from the case because he messed everything up. I was charged by a sergeant with the lowest form of assault. Because when you're charged with lowest form of assault, you do not get a jury. So I will not be tried by a member of my peers. I'm going to be tried once again. Does anyone not find this insane? That I have never had a jury. I've never had a jury. So a judge is going to decide whether I'm guilty or not guilty. Well, I wonder what the judge is going to say. Yeah, a judge is going to decide if I'm guilty or not guilty, and then the judge is in the power again to send me back to prison. So, and then the Attorney General, and what will happen is, if I'm convicted, this story will go across the whole country, and there will be zero mention of the sexual assault against a minor. It will be Tommy Robinson Assault's holidaymaker at Centre Parks. That's it. But luckily, everyone saw the viral video that went out last time, because every comment everywhere was, hold on, you've left a big bit of this story out. Yeah? And you mark my words, they're going to leave it out again. And they're going to leave it out again, and essentially that's why they sent me a real intimidating letter telling me to shut my mouth, or not only will I face an assault charge, but I'll face a contempt of court charge. A man sexually assaulted a minor. Yeah? He was detained. And if he received a bloody nose in that process, then I think everyone in the country will think good. Yeah? Now, I acted within the law. We have a law that allows me to detain that man, and I detained him.
So basically the Me Too movement only applies if you're basically.
I'm not allowed legally to mention who the victim of this crime is either. You might be on contempt of court then, mate.
Oh well, yeah? There you go.
So,
thank you, Tommy.
Yeah. I won't write to you.
So, just to finish, I know that you've been worried.
I'm laughing about this. It's not even a laughing matter.
Yeah,
it's not a laughing matter because you see that. It's just not a laughing matter at all, because the message it sends, I think, to the young victim is unacceptable. Yeah. And you know what? I received so much support. I had many Muslims messaging me, yeah, even Muslims who didn't like me at the time of this, but saying I want to support you on this. I was reading the comments from dads and families saying, hold on a minute, like this is bullshit. Yeah. And if you were opposed to child molestation and opposed to the police coming down on the side of the paedophile, then 30th of November at Luton Magistrates Court. Okay,
we'll be there. Obviously, you've been worried that you don't have a Hearts of Oak T-shirt. I know that's been the big thing in your mind.
The biggest thing.
This has been the first interview that we've done getting outside of live stream. So, just to remember this momentous occasion, Tommy, of getting out and having an interview with us, I'll give you a Hearts of Oak T-shirt.
Let me see this.
Well, that's a large. I'll give you medium.
It's a large. I'm a medium now. Thank you, lads.
It might be down to your knees. I'm sorry.
Thank you, lads. Every T-shirt's down to my knees.
So yeah,
little legs.
Thank you, and we'll be there on Sunday.
I'll be there this Sunday.
Speaker's Corner.
See as many of you there Sunday, hopefully. Yeah.
Thank you, Tommy.
No, thanks. Cheers, guys. Is this within the legislation, Boris? Have we just broke some law or something?
We'll touch elbows.
Is that what we're meant to do? Yeah. Better get the hand wash. I was in the lift the other day and I see someone. I was in the lift and then this bloke pressed the lift button and when he got out, his wife went, hand wash, she got all the disinfectant out. I was like, what the hell has happened, man? What is going on in society? What have they done? They've terrified the country. My mum was one of those people who was terrified for 3 months, locked herself in. And she used to send me messages every day about this nonsense. So... Project Fear. Project Fear, where everyone went like that. Project Coronavirus, where everyone's going like that. Project Islam, where everyone's going like that.
We could go on for an hour or two.
We
or
could.
three.
Anyway.
We'll not. Thank you, Tommy.
It was a pleasure. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.